Hi everyone. So I wanted to do a quick video on gifts. Newborn, baby shower, baby gifts. So you have your categories. You have your consumables, you have your plastic toys, things like that, toys, I guess, in general. You have your useful products, your burp pads, your receiving blankets. You have your sentimental items, and then you have the items that people have made that maybe aren't sentimental. So what do you do with all of these items? Consumables are pretty easy. You either use the item or you don't use the item. They're pretty easy to determine right off the bat. There are definitely products out there you're not going to use for your baby. You're going to receive them probably in one of those gift baskets or something. So sell the item if you can. Go on Facebook. If you've joined one of those groups, those buy and sell groups, they work great. Diapers are another example for something in those that maybe you purchased or you received a lot of newborn diapers and they grow like little weeds, these guys and girls. They you might not have used all of them, so yeah, get rid of the item or donate it. Then you have the toys. Now, the other thing I'm going to throw into this category is not just toys, but like strollers, playpens, all of those things you're going to use until you're not using anymore, then donate the item or sell the item. It's the same deal. Keep toys to a minimum because you want the opportunity to, one, possibly purchase a toy yourself for your child, and two, there are, oh gosh, Christmas and you know, the first birthday and every little milestone, and you got to get this because now he's doing this, and the milestone toys and the educational ones. And so definitely allow yourself to have some wiggle room. Everybody has a toy number in mind. You will know if you feel very overwhelmed by the number of toys, and this definitely happens, and you are going to receive those donations, you know, the ones where, oh, you had a baby, well, here's a jumperoo, here's an exerciser, here's a this, here's a that, and we're not using this anymore, my son is 10. So whatever, you're gonna get these items. Determine the ones you want to keep and quickly get rid of the ones you don't want to keep. So let's say you don't like exercisers, period. You don't like them, then don't keep the item. But sell the item, get some money back for it because you'll put that to good use, I'm sure. So sell first is my always recommendation. Sell first, donate last. And it is what it is. And then at that point, determine how long you want to keep the item to sell. And if it's not selling, then donate it. I generally don't keep an item longer than about 2 weeks, and then it's gone. There are some items that I know will sell pretty quickly, so I'll give it a little bit of time, but most of the time, that's it. 2 weeks, it's gone. You can do once a month. It's up to you. It really is. So that's pretty easy for toys. And when they're babies, you know, you're going to get baby toys. You're going to know pretty quickly your baby just doesn't like it. There are definitely toys that Lucas received where it was like, he's not playing with this. He hasn't played with this in forever. Now it's a little bit different when they're younger than 3 months and they're like, I can't even see the toy. What? You know? Fair enough. Give them some time to see the toy and touch the toy, play with the toy, whatever. But if you do notice the baby's not using it, don't keep it. Don't. Just, you know, just get rid of that. So, okay, we're going to move on from that because that's the thing that I really could go on a totally different video on. And if you want me to go into more detail with that, I absolutely can. But let's move on from that one because there's just, gifts are such big, you know, it's a very big discussion when it comes to gifts and what to do. So anyways, moving on. Sentimental. Let's just go right to sentimental because this is what everybody wants to know. What do you do with these items? So you received whatever, that the great greats of all the greats have made and has been passed down, let's say 7 generations. I don't even know. Maybe it's a stick. I don't know. Anyways, what do you do with this item? Maybe baby is never going to wear it, use it, whatever the case is, okay? So you're done with the item. You're done with it. Don't get rid of it right away. Just don't. When you're done with the item and you're truly done with it, it's a blanket, you don't want it anymore, whatever, okay? Go back to the person. Go back to the person, have the conversation. This is the only one where I'm going to suggest having the conversation with that person. Allow them to either come up with, permission to get rid of it, which they probably won't because this is family. Or at least give them the opportunity to take it back. So more than likely what they're going to say is keep it. You're going to have more babies. Store it. This is for the family. And when he or she has a new brother or sister, whatever, you'll use it again. No. Don't take it. Don't store it unless you want to. That's a whole different story. This is the point where you don't want it. And you want to get rid of the item. So if that's what they say, no, just tell them, thank you, but I don't know if I'm going to have more children at this time, and I don't want to keep the items stored in case that happens. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, I don't want that box coming down years from now and it being that reminder. I really don't. Just put it back on you. It's your feelings. No, I don't want it. I don't want the bad memories associated, like I couldn't have more children or something like that. And maybe that's true. I mean, God, it could happen. So, no, you just don't want it. The other thing is, what if you store that item and something happens to that item? For example, you store that item in the basement and the basement floods or something happens and that item is ruined. You will feel so guilty. They will be so angry. Just don't go down that path and let them know, no, I would much rather you take back the item because you know what? What if so-and-so has a baby and you want to give them make the gift useful. Keep it in the family. It doesn't necessarily have to belong to me, but keep it in the family. And if somebody is having another child, allow them to have the gift. It was so useful for me, but it's just not anymore. It's a good conversation to have. Keep that up. Keep those kind of sentiment. Keep that in mind for other sentimental items as well, not just for babies. But so anyways, have that conversation with them and ensure that they take the item back. And a big thing for me is damaged items. I've heard a story about that and it's bad. Anyways, actually that wasn't a baby item, but it was a wedding item. Anyways. So that's for sentimental items. Bring it back to the person. What do you do with the items that somebody, maybe a coworker made or something? I will give you a quick story that happened to me. And this is blankets. So I received a ton of blankets for Lucas. Tons. Big ones, small ones. They were all knitted, of course. And they were beautiful blankets. Beautiful. You could tell people really just put so much time and effort in these things. I really hope they didn't just buy them at a flea market. Anyways, I'm assuming these were made with love and everything else. So what do you do with these items? Blankets for me. 4 of them were yellow blankets. I wrote on the cards for all of those items that the kids, they all came in different times, of course. Yellow blanket. So I didn't even know who these blankets were from. Honestly didn't. I had 4 yellow blankets. I had cards that said yellow blanket, and I couldn't tell you whose was whose. So that made it pretty easy. I wasn't determining anything based on who it came from because I didn't know. So then what I did was I looked at it, and I should have done this at first, but of course first for me was, who was it from? Oop, can't tell. Number 2, how useful is this item? Well, right off the bat, there were some blankets that were a bit scratchy. I didn't like them. So, okay, no. Donated. Then I had to determine blankets usefulness in other ways. So there were various sizes, of course. I had kept a small one and I kept a larger one. And the reason why I did that was I wanted him to have one for when he was like a toddler. And then of course I had one to use now. 4 blankets for me worked. 2 blankets were ones that were purchased for me. I love these, but I asked for these ones. So of course I kept those ones. And then, the other 2, of course, was a small one and the larger one that was made. I kept those ones, doesn't matter which ones went where or whatever, but one ended up in the car, one ended up for daycare, and then 2 were for home. And the one of the 2 from home was generally one that I could always easily replace. So clearly it was a store-bought one that was at home, one of those. And that one was, of course, easily replaced so that if I left it, forgot it, at a hotel room, for example. Oh, okay, that's no big deal. So that's pretty much what I did with those types of gifts. And those ones, the made gifts, they're nice. You'll keep the ones you will use. The ones you don't use, don't keep. But, my biggest thing was when I received an item, I tried to snap a picture with Lucas, of course, with that item. And that for me was an indication of, hey, look, he used it. Look, he's with that blanket. Oh, look, he's with that toy. It's like, you ain't keeping this toy. Snap. Goodbye, item. So anyways, I hope that helped. That's just what I did. Is that the wrong thing to do? I hope not. I took a picture. So they don't know. People don't come over all the time and say, hey, where's that item? I spent 8 months making that blanket or whatever. People just don't do it. It's, they just don't. So, anyways, I hope this helps. I really do. I'm making light of the situation, of course, but it causes so much stress with people, a lot of anxiety. People really just don't know what to do with these items. I'm really hoping that this is helpful to you, at least in some way. And if anybody has any other suggestions, I love reading them. I just want to know your point of view. If you agree with a lot of things that I've said, or, if maybe there's something that you've thought of that is just different. So, or if you have a very specific item that you just don't know what to do with, and maybe something I didn't touch on, just let me know in the comments below, and I will try to help in any way that I can. So like, comment, subscribe. All right. I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.